So far, we created the strongest character in One Piece's history. Then we let luck decide the strongest character possible. Now, let's take it a step further and let luck decide on the strongest pirate crew possible. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna spin this wheel, and on whichever crew it lands on, we need to take a member from that crew to add in our own. So before we get into the exciting part of the video, let's set some small rules. In this type of video, we usually say that we can only choose someone from our options just one time each. Well now, let's change it up a bit. Let's allow each pirate crew to be used a maximum of 2 times each. Since each crew has multiple members, it would be kind of unfair to limit ourselves to just one character. The second small rule we have is this. We have 18 positions we need to cover, these being the captain, a first mate or vice captain, a second mate, a doctor, a navigator, a cook, a youngster or rookie, a musician, an archaeologist or decipherer, a sniper, an assassin, a fighter, a swordsman, an animal, a scientist, a shipwright, and of course, a ship. Also, let's give ourselves the option to discard one crew as well when we don't like what the wheel gives us. Well, as we just mentioned, and as you can easily realize, luck is involved in this video. So let's just say that no matter what we do, let's just hope that the wheel does not force us to have Zoro as a navigator. Because then, well, everything would be for nothing. Our crew would be dead within a week in that case. Okay, so let's spin our wheel to see what we get. Our first pull is the new Giant Warrior Pirates. This crew is comprised from Haruden, Stinson, Rode, Goldberg, Gerd, and Jaguar D. Sol. Well, as you understand, our option here will be a warrior. But which position in our crew do giants fit? None other than the fighter. Okay, so which character should we choose then? Well, I think that among the crew members, the two that excel over the others are Haruden and Sol. But which of them is stronger? Let's find out. When it comes to Haruden, as a giant, he possesses immense physical strength. And after the time skip, he's shown to be capable of taking down powerful foes and has impressive endurance. However, his feats are more on the pirate side, with his strength being mainly showcased in battles like the Kurita Coliseum. When it comes to Sol now, well, Sol's not just a giant, but a former vice admiral in the Marines as well. Being a Marine of vice admiral rank, he has extensive combat experience and is proficient in hockey. He displayed incredible strength when he was shown fighting during the Ohara incident. Sol was also strong enough to stand up to other Marines and even fight against Kuzan, though he was ultimately defeated and thus frozen. Yeah, many of us thought that Sol died there, but as a matter of fact, that's not actually what happened. What did happen was that Kuzan put Sol to sleep. A pretty deep sleep, I suppose. His sleep was nearly as deep as the sleep I get when using this mask from Manta Sleep. I mean, with Manta Sleep, you fall asleep faster, you have more energy throughout the day, you eliminate stress, and overall, you become a changed person. You cannot even imagine how important sleep is for people. It helps you build muscle easier, lose weight, be more alert on your school or job, and even be happier, as a good sleep regulates your system's hormones. Buy any sleep mask from Manta Sleep and witness yourself become a different person. Adjustable, easy to use, comfortable, these masks literally tick all boxes for a better sleep. Check Manta Sleep by clicking the link in the description down below and use code AKAGAMI to get 10% off your order. So what are you waiting for? Improve your sleep today by buying sleep masks from Manta Sleep. But now, let's get back to our video. You see, Sol has more experience as a Marine Vice Admiral, which likely means he has faced stronger opponents and has a broader range of combat skills, including hockey. As both are giants, they are incredibly strong, but Sol's portrayal as a former vice admiral suggests his overall power might surpass Haruden's, especially considering that Sol was able to survive a direct confrontation with an admiral, even though, again, he ultimately lost. My choice will be Jaguar D. Sol. Our crew's fighter is now Sol. Moving on, let's see which crew we get next. The Heart Pirates. The members of this crew are the following: Trafalgar D. Waterlaw, Beppo, Penguin, Sachi, Jean Bart, Ikaku, Uni, Cleone, and Hakugan. Yeah, basically, we've got Law alongside some side characters. One side character is worth considering, however, Beppo. You see, from this crew, we'll either take Law and use him as either a doctor or a swordsman, or we'll take Beppo and use him as the crew's animal, or even as the navigator. Let's see which option is actually the best. When it comes to Law, both his combat ability as well as his medical skills are top tier. In addition to his Devil Fruit, Law underwent an extremely rigorous combat training regimen under the Don Quixote pirates as a child, attaining incredible superhuman physical prowess. He has displayed immense levels of physical endurance and was constantly shown to be particularly smart, especially when you compare him with other captains like Luffy, for example. That, well, you know that guy's kinda stupid. Strong, smart, powerful Devil Fruit, and it doesn't even end there. Since childhood, Law was already well versed in medicine. Law earned the nickname Surgeon of Death due to his immense surgical skills in addition to his formidable combat abilities. He was able to simultaneously operate on both Luffy and Jinbei right after both of them barely escaped a murderous Akainu who inflicted brutal, life-threatening injuries that left them on the brink of death and was successful in treating them. The spatial powers given to him by the Ope Ope no Mi allows Law to perform even the most complicated and difficult surgeries perfectly with great ease, as they allow him to cut a patient's body open and remove organs without damaging any tissues, leaving scars, or causing the patient to bleed a single drop of blood while removing any disease-causing impurities, as well as poisonous substances and narcotic drugs from the patient's body. And now, with a few words for Beppo, yeah, I know he's not even remotely as strong as Law, but hear me out. There aren't many strong animals in the world of One Piece that are part of crews, so at the very least, we should consider him, right? As a member of the mink tribe, Beppo, like all other minks, is a born warrior. Though it's not been shown yet, it can be presumed he's able to use Electro. He is also a skilled martial artist, combining his fighting skills with his superior physical abilities as a mink, allowing him to take out several marines with ease. But he's not strong enough to break a pacifista, as when he attempted to kick one, he wounded his leg, similar to Sanji's attack on Bartholomew Kuma. After the time skip, Beppo's fighting skills and physical prowess significantly improved. In the anime, he could hold his own against the gifters of the Beast Pirates for 12 consecutive hours before Nekomamushi forced him to retreat. Plus, don't even get me started on his Sulong form. As a member of the mink tribe, Beppo was able to awaken the Sulong transformation when looking at the full moon. In this form, Beppo's strength, size, speed, and fighting abilities are magnified, earning him acknowledgement from his crewmates as being the second strongest after Law, and letting him briefly fight back against even the Emperor Blackbeard and several of his titanic captains. Beppo also has access to a special drug developed by Chopper that allows him to transform without the need of looking at the full moon, allowing him to tap into the Sulong's power at any moment. Between the two members, I think I'll be taking Trafalgar Law and using him as our crew's doctor. He's both stronger than Beppo, and also, there are not many strong doctors out there, so Law kind of fits our needs perfectly. Our crew's doctor is now Trafalgar Law. Now, let's spin the wheel again. And we now get the On-Air Pirates. Their known members are the following: Scratchman Apu, and yeah, that's basically it. He has a few more unnamed members in his crew, but as of now, we have no confirmation for neither their names nor their full abilities. So, how strong is Apu now really? Let's quickly find out. As a member of the Worst Generation, Apu is a fearsome pirate who, with his crew, was able to survive the Grand Line's first half and ultimately enter the New World. Over the time skip, his bounty rose from 198 million berries all the way to 350 million, indicating his great strength. Though he is shown to have a strong preference for fighting at a medium to long distance using his fighting magic, Apu has some competence in close quarters combat, specifically while wielding his pair of tonfas, and is strong enough to parry attacks from two physically mighty foes at once. Apu demonstrates his high intelligence as he can use his wits to come out advantageous in any situation. While outwardly proposing an alliance with the Kid Pirates and the Hawkins Pirates, it was actually a ruse to set up the other two in order to absorb them into the Beast Pirates, with whom he had pledged his services to already. Apu is also a Devil Fruit user, having eaten the Oto Oto no Mi, a Paramecia-type devil fruit that allows him to morph parts of his body into various musical instruments that he can play. Which brings us to his most important trait, his musical skills. Apu has shown extensive musical prowess to go along with his devil fruit ability, allowing him to play the various wildly different instruments he can transform into with casual ease. True to his name, he is also a skilled DJ. So, what better position for him other than being the musician in our crew? Our crew's musician is now Scratchman Apu. But let's spin the wheel again. And we now get the Rumbar Pirates. The significant members of this crew were Yorkie and Brook. Now, when it comes to Yorkie, he was supposed to be a relatively strong pirate for the standards of early One Piece, but generally, yeah, he was nothing special, really. When it comes to Brook now, well, we all know he would fit perfectly as the crew's musician, but since we already got Apu for that, I suppose we should consider something else. You see, Brook is not just a musician, he can also be considered a swordsman, a position that is open, by the way. Brook is incredibly fast, often moving so quickly that he can deliver a strike before his opponent even realizes it. His swordsmanship is based on finesse, using swift, precise strikes rather than brute force. His signature technique, Swallow Bond and Avant, is a perfect example, where he delivers a lightning-fast thrust akin to a swallow's rapid movement. After the time skip, Brook learns to use the cold of the underworld in his sword techniques. His soul-solid sword can channel an ice-cold aura, freezing opponents upon contact. This adds a supernatural element to his swordplay, allowing him to immobilize enemies with both speed and the chilling touch of death. Plus, being a skeleton, Brook has certain advantages that typical swordsmen do not possess. He has no no muscles or vital organs to target, making it difficult for opponents to deal fatal blows. His light skeletal frame also allows him to perform acrobatic maneuvers and evade attacks with ease. So should we choose Brook as a swordsman? Not quite, because here I would like to remind you of something. Laboon was also part of the Rumbar Pirates. Laboon is able to swallow small to medium-sized ships without much difficulty, trapping them inside his stomach. While his stomach acid is mild enough that even an unarmed human can survive brief exposure, lengthy exposure can very much prove fatal. Intellectually, Laboon is highly capable of understanding both human language and psyches. So, how can we use Laboon as our crew's animal? Our crew's animal is now Laboon. But moving on. Our next crew pull is the Akagami Pirates. Now, I don't know why, but the Akagami name does have a nice ring to it, don't you think? Maybe I should name my channel after that, huh? But on a serious note, the characters we can use here are actually enough to give me a headache. We have Shanks, Beckman, Lucky Roo, Yasopp, Lime Juice, Bonk Punch, Monster, Building Snake, Hongo, Gab, Rockstar, and Uta. So, which of them are we actually considering? Well, for Lime Juice, since his full abilities are not displayed to their maximum yet, I suppose I won't be using him. For Bonk Punch, Monster, and Hongo, I think the reason for me not using them is quite easy to understand, which leaves us with Shanks, Beckman, Lucky Roo, Yasopp, Building Snake, Gab, Rockstar, and Uta. When it comes to Uta, she could be a pretty great option to add as our crew's musician, but once again, we already chose someone for that position. You see, Uta eat the Uta no Mi, a paramecia-type devil fruit that allows her to transport people's consciousnesses into a virtual space called Uta World by singing. Within Uta World, she's essentially all-powerful and able to do whatever she wants until she runs out of energy. Since the musician role is the only position Uta could fit in our crew, I guess we have to discard her and see what other members of the Akagami Pirates we can use instead. Moving on to Rockstar. You see, Rockstar is currently considered a heavy hitter of the Red Hair Pirates. Before the time skip, he was still a newcomer to the crew, but held a 94 million berry bounty from his previous pirating career. Rockstar is a swordsman and specializes in a style called Splitting Sword, where he swings his sword straight down and cuts the opponent in two. He is also able to pierce his targets akin to a drill. I'll be honest, I do consider him to be pretty strong, probably stronger than what most people think, but since there are incredibly powerful swordsmen in the world of One Piece, I think it would be a waste to use this position on him. The next character we have is Gab. Gab is a senior officer of the Red Hair Pirates, giving him authority over low-ranking members of the crew. He is definitely a powerful individual himself, plus he does have a special ability that probably means he is a part of a special race. Although we don't know for sure which race that is, the fact that he is capable of generating air blades from his mouth through a roar-like technique does suggest that this is the case. For him, a position that could maybe fit would be the fighter, but once again, this position is already occupied. On to Building Snake, who's the navigator of the crew. Naturally, this is the position we are considering him for in our crew as well. He also uses a sword, but again, I would not want to waste this position on a character that we know close to nothing to. And now, the four actual candidates. Yasopp for the sniper position, Lucky Roo for the position of the cook, Beckman for a position that, truth be told, we'll need to think about, and of course, Shanks for the position of captain, or I suppose even vice captain could work. For Yasopp, hear this. You see, he is widely regarded as one of the best snipers in the world, if not actually the best. Yasopp's reputation as a sniper is legendary. He is known to have never missed a shot, even in difficult conditions. His fame as a sniper is so widespread that even other pirates and marines know of his abilities. According to the manga and anime, Yasopp's precision is unmatched. He is said to be able to shoot an ant's antenna from a great distance, demonstrating incredible accuracy even on small targets. Although not explicitly shown, it's implied that Yasopp may possess advanced hockey abilities, particularly observation hockey, which would enhance his sniping prowess by allowing him to sense his targets and predict movements. On to Lucky Roo, for which all I will say is that he's one of Shanks' most trusted and powerful crewmates. Although much of his strength hasn't been directly showcased in the series as of yet, here are some key points that suggest how strong he really is. In his very first appearance, Lucky Roo demonstrated his combat abilities by swiftly killing a mountain bandit who threatened Shanks and his crew. This quick and effortless action hints at his speed, decisiveness, and strength. Oda has kept much of Lucky Roo's abilities under wraps, but in the world of One Piece, such mystery around a character often indicates that they would be revealed as extremely powerful when the time comes. Being in Shanks' crew means he is someone who can hold his own against other top fighters in the world. Adding a cook with this kind of strength in our crew would definitely be a major help. For Beckman now, well, all I'll say is that I covered in previous videos my theory about him being a secret swordsman. So if that's true, the position we're considering for him is naturally that of a swordsman. As Shanks' first mate, Ben Beckman is the second strongest in one of the most powerful Yonko crews. His position alone suggests suggests he's one of the strongest characters in the world of One Piece. Ben Beckman is renowned not only for his strength, but also for his intelligence. I mean, in an SBS, Oda stated that Ben Beckman has the highest IQ of any character introduced in the East Blue Saga. During the Marineford War, Ben Beckman made a powerful impact when he confronted Admiral Kizaru, one of the strongest characters in the series. Kizaru, known for his incredible speed, immediately stopped when Ben Beckman pointed his rifle at him, showing that even an admiral acknowledged Ben Beckman as a serious threat. And now for the captain of the crew, Shanks. Now for this guy, I think we all know he's among the most powerful characters in the series. Despite not showcasing his full strength in combat, there are several key aspects that could indicate just how formidable he is. Shanks is one of the most powerful users of Conqueror's Haki in the world. His Haki is so strong that he was able to crack Whitebeard's ship just by walking onto it. During the Wano War, his Conqueror's Haki was shown to reach far distances, and he can intimidate even other strong characters from miles away. Shanks is also an expert in observation Haki, allowing him to anticipate movements in battle and react to threats with precise timing. Plus, his swordsmanship combined with his Haki make him a terrifying opponent in close combat. During the Marineford War, Shanks was able to single-handedly stop the war by merely arriving on the battlefield. This shows the level of respect and fear Shanks commands, even among the most powerful characters in the world. When Shanks visited Whitebeard, the clash between their weapons split the sky, demonstrating their incredible power. Now the question is, do I get Shanks as our crew's captain, or do I choose someone else for another position, hoping that I might get another crew with a stronger captain than Shanks down the line? Well, why not do something better? Let's use Shanks as the vice captain of the crew, and us have the position of the captain empty in case we get something even better down the line. Our crew's vice captain is now Shanks. Spinning the wheel again. We now get the Rocks Pirates. Now that's what you call a legendary pirate crew. Some of the strongest members include Rocks D. Shebek, Whitebeard, Big Mom, Kaido, Shiki, and Stussy. They also had members like Gloriosa, John, and Struzan, but I think we all know we shouldn't even be considering those. When it comes to Stussy, she could be considered for the role of the assassin, but I think it would indeed be a waste to use this crew to get only Stussy. So between Shiki, Kaido, Big Mom, and Whitebeard, which of these is the strongest? I think the two ones that excel a bit above the other two are Kaido and Whitebeard, so which of them is actually the strongest? When it comes to Whitebeard, at least in his prime, he was considered the only man who could rival Goldie Roger. This reputation alone places him at the very top of the pirate world. Even in his old age, Whitebeard had immense physical strength and powerful Haki. In his prime, these traits would have been even more impressive, making him a near unstoppable force. Kaido, on the other hand, was revered as the strongest living being, whether on land, sea, or air. His durability was legendary. He was virtually unkillable and could withstand immense punishment without sustaining serious injuries. Kaido's raw physical power, coupled with his durability, made him a formidable opponent in direct combat. His proficiency with all forms of Haki, particularly armament and Conqueror's Haki, allowed him to deal significant damage. If I had to choose one of the two, I would probably go with Prime Whitebeard. When it comes to Whitebeard versus Odin, we saw that Whitebeard was clearly a step above him, while Odin versus Kaido, I would dare say that not only were these two on the same level, Odin was a bit stronger as well. So does this mean that we'll be choosing Whitebeard for our crew? Not quite, because we still need to speak about Rocks D. Shebek. Though little is known about his full strength, the information revealed so far indicates that he was an extraordinary pirate, potentially one of the strongest to ever live. I mean, Shebek led one of the most fearsome pirate crews in history, the Rocks Pirates, which included legendary figures such as Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom, and Shiki, among others. The fact that he commanded such a crew indicates not only his strength, but also his massive influence over these individuals. At the infamous God Valley incident, it took the combined forces of Goldie Roger and Monkey D. Garp, two of the strongest individuals in the world at that time, to bring him down. The fact that Garp and Roger had to join forces to defeat Shebek underscores his overwhelming power. I think our choice should be pretty obvious. Our crew's captain is now Rocks D. Shebek. Spinning the wheel again. We now have the Don Quixote Pirates! So, which one should we go for? Well, let's first see our choices. We have Don Quixote Doflamingo, that I suppose the only position we could consider him is that of the second mate. However, I would like to reserve that spot for stronger individuals that can actually make a difference. There are plenty of captains, vice captains, or even simple members of legendary crews that we could consider that are surely stronger than Doflamingo. But next, we also have Pika and Diamante that could fit pretty well on the swordsman position. But again, given the swordsman we still have in play, I think it would be a waste to to use such an important position with literal monsters as candidates on one of Pika or Diamante. We then have Giola that, yeah, even though she's not the weakest, I don't really think we have a place for her in the crew. Something similar applies with Sugar as well. I mean, this girl has some of the most overpowered abilities in the whole world of One Piece, but nonetheless, the positions we have are not really suitable for her. Latias, on the other hand, could be considered for the position of a sniper. But again, this position would be a waste if it went to him. Instead, I will be using the Don Quixote Pirates for the position of the assassin. That not only are there not many members in the world that we could use here, this crew actually has pretty good candidates. The first of which is Senor Pink. I mean, this guy possesses superhuman strength, enough to wrestle and knock down a very large and very heavy cyborg such as Frankie. But not only that, his devil fruit power, the Sui Sui no Mi, is actually ideal for assassinations. It allows him to swim through solid ground and through walls. This grants him the ability to move underground and through structures to attack at unsuspecting angles and avoid attacks. This power also allows him to infiltrate enemy bases and commit assassinations, which is exactly why his role in the Don Quixote Pirates was exactly this, an assassin. The other candidate, on the other hand, is Virgo. But okay, I'll be honest, I do think that Virgo is generally stronger than Senor Pink. Call me crazy, I think Senor Pink would match our crew better. Strong hockey, physical strength, and all that, we already have plenty of this type of combatants in our crew. But when it comes to Senor Pink, he and his devil fruit could definitely add something special or unique. Our crew's assassin is now Senor Pink. But back to our wheel. Our next crew is the Blackbeard Pirates. Okay, here we once again have plenty of candidates. We have Blackbeard or Aokiji as the second mate. We have Van Augur as the sniper. We have Katarina Devon and Shiryu as candidates for the position of the swordsman. But which of these should we go for? Well, hear me out. Among the candidates, Blackbeard is obviously the strongest one. The real question is it worth it to use him for the position of second mate? Or should we take another character for the position and wish that we'll get someone better down the line that we can add as second mate? Well, to be honest, I'm gonna play it safe and choose Blackbeard as our second mate here. He is obviously among the strongest characters in the series, so really, let's just use him now that we got this crew. Our crew's second mate is now Blackbeard. Moving on. Our next pull is the Baroque Works. Okay, to be honest, I've been waiting on this one for some time now, and I was hoping we would either get this crew or the Straw Hats. Why? Because in the world of One Piece, there are not a lot of archaeologists left. So any crew that Nico Robin was a part of, we could definitely use it for the purposes of our video. We could use Crocodile, that's arguably stronger than Nico Robin. Then we would not be able to fill the position of the archaeologist. So our crew's archaeologist is now Nico Robin. Spinning the wheel again. Our next crew is the Roger Pirates. The known members that are actually worth considering are the following: Roger, Rayleigh, Gaban, Crocus, Odin, Douglas Bullet, Shanks, Buggy, Inarashi, Nekomamushi, and Momonosuke. Plus, we could also consider their ship as well, I suppose, the Oro Jackson. But having said that, the only positions we still have available in our crew are Navigator, Sniper, a discard option, a Cook, Youngster, Scientist, Swordsman, Ship, and a Shipwright, meaning that our options are these. We can consider Roger, Rayleigh, and Odin for the place of the Swordsman, Gaban for the place of the Navigator, Crocus, we already took another Doctor, so he's discarded. Shanks is already used. Buggy, well, I think there's better choices here. Inarashi and Nekomamushi, we already took an animal in our crew. And finally, a ship. For Douglas Bullet, not sure which position we would consider him for, to be honest. But, oh well, truth be told, we don't really need to think this long and hard. Why? Because what better choice could we hope for than having Roger in our crew? Like, literally adding the former Pirate King as a swordsman is literally the best we could hope for at this point. Our crew's swordsman is now Roger. Let's spin the wheel again. We now get the Akagami Pirates for the second time. Okay, we already analyzed their members, so we won't be doing it again. Instead, we'll present the remaining options and the red hair pirate members that might fit each position. So we still have available a Sniper, a Discard, a Cook, a Youngster, a Scientist, a Navigator, a Ship, and a Shipwright. Well, the only positions that match what we have are Sniper, in which we have Yasopp, and Cook, in which we have Lucky Brew. Both candidates would be great, but in my opinion, I think I should probably be going for Yasopp, as he is considered probably the best sniper in the world right now. Our crew's sniper is now Yasopp. Let's spin the wheel again. Our next crew is now Bellamy. Okay, not the best for sure. Let's see what we can do with this. The members of his crew are Bellamy, Sarquis, and a bunch more side characters that no one really cares about. So I think it's obvious we should be taking Bellamy here, right? But which position should we use him for? Well, to be honest, not only Bellamy does not fit any role in the crew, he's also way too weak for the crew we're creating. Meaning, we will be using our one-time discard option so we don't waste an actual position on Bellamy. We now use our discard option. 12 spins down, 6 more to go. And the next one we get is the Fire Tank Pirates. The known members are Capone, Bege, Vito, Gotti, and Charlotte Chiffon. Okay, this is again not the best, but we'll see what we can do with it. For Gotti, not many things to say. He's just a side character, nothing really special. For Vito, well, the only position we could use him is as a sniper. But not only is that position already occupied, we also don't think that this guy is good enough to be part of this crew. Now for Bege, he's obviously the strongest candidate we have, as again, he is the captain of the crew. Bege ate the Shiro no Mi, a Paramecia-type devil fruit that effectively makes him a miniature fortress. His body is equipped with cannons, and he has a small pocket dimension inside his body that resembles the inside of a castle, including furniture. He can also manifest cannon ports and a drawbridge on his person. Anyone or thing that enters his body will be shrunken down and return to its normal size once they leave. But having said that, we don't really have a place to use him in our squad, so our only choice left to use Charlotte Chiffon as our crew's cook. We know she's not the strongest candidate we could hope for this position, but well, we don't really have another choice here. Our crew's cook is now Charlotte Chiffon. Spinning the wheel again. Our next crew is now the Whitebeard Pirates. The main members we could use are the following: Whitebeard, Odin, Marco, Ace, Jozu, Vista, Izo, and their ship, the Moby Dick. For the remaining positions we have now, well, we still have available the positions of the Scientist, the Youngster, Navigator, a ship, and a Shipwright. The only combinations we can see working out are Ace as a Youngster and Moby Dick as our crew's ship. For Whitebeard, we already used the 3 positions of Captain and 2 mates underneath him. For the others, well, we already used the positions of Doctor, Swordsman, and Sniper. So between Ace and Moby Dick, which one should we be choosing? Let's see. When it comes to Ace, we know that as a youngster, he was literally a prodigy. He could use all 3 forms of hockey, had a very strong devil fruit, he was the son of Goldie Roger, and was also trained by Whitebeard. Like, quite literally, if Ace did not die, his potential was through the roof. When it comes to Moby Dick now, well, yeah, I suppose it is indeed a pretty strong ship, but it would indeed be better if we went for Ace here. His difference with other youngsters we can add is surely far bigger compared to the difference Moby Dick has from other ships. Our crew's youngster is now Ace. But spinning the wheel again. Our next crew is the Rocks Pirates yet again. Okay, so we already analyzed the best members of this crew, but having said that, let's see which remaining positions we have left. We still need a Navigator, a ship, a Shipwright, and a Scientist. My choice, the one that it's most difficult to find again when spinning the wheel, a Scientist. You see, Stussy, well, she's obviously not Vegapunk, but she's among the very few options we have in order to add a Scientist in our crew. She's not exactly a scientist as in it's her specialty, but she does have certain knowledge of science and technology from her years alongside Vegapunk. Our crew's Scientist is now Stussy. Let's spin the wheel again. And our next crew is the Kid Pirates. The remaining positions we have are the Navigator, the Ship, and the Shipwright. When it comes to the ship, well, we can indeed say that it's not something special, meaning that now it's between the Shipwright and the Navigator. Well, the option we'll be taking here is naturally the Navigator, which that's someone being Killer. After the time skip, Killer has a noteworthy bounty of 200 million berries. Not to mention how he really put Zoro through the ringer during Wano. He uses a pair of gauntlets equipped with scythe-like blades, which he dubs Punishers. The blades are capable of spinning around like buzzsaws or simply being used as hand scythes. These weapons can also be used to block other weapons, leaving the foe open for Killer to kick the enemy's flank or other exposed areas. Killer is definitely someone that would be a nice addition to our crew. Our crew's Navigator is now Killer. Moving on, let's spin the wheel again. And we now get the Roger Pirates once more. Okay, the last positions we have available are the Ship and the Shipwright. Well, when it comes to the Shipwright, although not confirmed, it is highly estimated that the Shipwright was Scoper Gabon. If that's the case, then our choice should be pretty obvious. Our crew's Shipwright is now Gabon. And for the final spin in today's video, we have the Straw Hats. Okay, we did get pretty lucky here. Getting the Straw Hats means that Sunny will be our ship. And yeah, Sunny is indeed among the strongest ships in One Piece. You see, Sunny is an incredibly powerful and advanced ship in One Piece, built by Frankie and his team of shipwrights. It was designed using the best materials and technology available, making it one of the most durable and versatile ships in the series. Our crew's ship is now Sunny. Click on this video next, where I am letting luck decide the strongest One Piece character imaginable. Go on, click it.